The National Black Theater in Harlem is housed in a 72-year-old building that is about to be renovated. The owners of the theater want $1.5 million to buy the corner of the block where it's located at 9 East 125th Street. Recently, it got some good news from the New York State Division of Housing and Community Renewal. The department plans to give the theater $35,000 for capital improvements.
Join us, leave your peace to sour. Well, join us, leave your peace to sour. Well, join us, come on, waste an hour or two.
A rehearsal for the April 23rd production of the play When the Lion Roars. The youngsters comprise the children's school at the National Black Theater in Harlem, one of 4 groups to practice and perform here. The theater was founded 14 years ago by veteran actress Barbara Ann TEER.
The National Black Theater comes from a context of transformation. We're in the business of transformation. Our purpose is to transform the experience of theater into a celebration of life. We've existed for 14.5 years on this corner of 5th Avenue and 25th Street. We have 4 full-time programs. We have a children's school, which is holistic in its approach. We have a performing program, a touring program, which is our outreach program, and we have educational and performance workshops. So the first thing we did when we came to Harlem was to discover that there was nothing written about it. There were no books, there were no films, there was nothing. You know, people say in the church that, I don't know, I just feel it, or God came down, I don't know. They don't know the science of it. So I said, okay, I want to create the process that causes for an Aretha or for Malcolm X or for Martin Luther King, those preacher rhythms of James Cleveland. I want to put that into a formula, into a science, so that people can experience the black experience.
Our next guest is an EST graduate, and probably better known to all of you as the founder and executive producer of the National Black Theater. And we're glad to welcome our good friend Barbara Ann TEER back to Positively Black.
Good to be back.
Tell me about EST and how somebody who is as creative and thoughtful as you have been all these years found a useful way for this to work.
Well, I'll take you back a little bit.
Don't go back too far.
Don't go back too far. Well, when we started the National Black Theater, I created a black art standard, a way of viewing the world blackly. And I got through raising the consciousness from nigger to Negro to militant to nationalist to revolutionary. When I got to the revolutionary, there was a stop, because it was the peak of the civil rights movement. There was no place to go. Everybody was either in jail or dead or in exile. And it was like, what do you do now?
You got in touch with a new system now.
Yeah.
Did you send a postcard somewhere and get in touch with a new? How do you do that?
It always comes from within.
Okay.
The answers to everything are always within.
Nobody called you up on the phone and said, here's a new system.
No, no system. But anyway, my sister had been in Hawaii for a year with Werner Erhardt and EST, and had taken all the seminars and all the trainings, and she's an excellent administrator. And I wanted her to come and take over the administration of the theater. She said, not unless you take S. And I said, well, I'm not going to take S. And so that was how I got involved with S.
S is the EST is the abbreviation.
Yeah,
okay.
Erhardt Seminar Training.
Barbara, you've been heavily involved into raising a black consciousness for a long time.
Yes, I have.
Now, is there any conflict in what you're now doing, or is this a compliment? Does it simply add to?
You know what happened? That's why I was saying beyond evolution. Now, after the training, and I got to really look at the function of the mind and my responsibility in this whole trip about oppression, I got to take total responsibility for creating my own oppression. And that was very appropriate because, you see, I had just come back from Africa, and I noticed a totally different relationship to African people and European people than we had here. And it wasn't tense.
You mean relationship between
the two?
Africans to Africans
and Europeans? Africans to Europeans.
Okay, Africans to Europeans.
Yeah, and it kind of blew me away, you know. So when I took the training, I really got very clear that I'm responsible for my own oppression, that I created it, and that I had the power to destroy it or to do whatever I wanted to do with it.
Black Journal is an on-the-air magazine reporting on the personalities, ideas, and issues that affect Black America. It attempts to achieve balance by reporting from a Black perspective.
Barbara Ann TEER is one of the leading personalities in Black theater. She is the founder of the National Black Theater in Harlem.
And when I say Black theater, I'm talking about changing the total thrust of Western theater without a color on it. You see, black used to be you know, you thought of blackness as a skin color, and then we went through that phase, and then the definition was a state of mind. But we're saying now that blackness is the unleashing of an overwhelming creative force.
I can suggest to you that if you would place your hands on the television set in your homes, you might feel some of the vibrations that we are attempting to send out tonight. I hope you will be able to deal with it, because it will be beautiful. And I must say that a hand that will be extended to you on the screen is the guiding hand of the National Black Theater, the director and founder of the National Black Theater. She is a sister with a great love for Black people, and she's an old friend for soul. So why don't we get together and have a warm reception as we welcome again to Soul, Miss Barbara Ann TEER. Barbara, as I said, again, welcome to Soul. And although I know a lot about the National Black Theater and we could talk for hours, the ritual is going to let a lot of people know a lot of things that's happening. So I think the first thing I should ask you is why a National Black Theater?
It's a good question. Well, the whole concept of theater in this country is a European concept. It's based on a dramatic tradition that comes from Europe. And we're not European people, we're African people. And therefore, African-American people, that is, and therefore, we wanted to create out of our own experience, our own lifestyle, a concept of theater that would fit our sensibilities, you know?
Well, while you were searching for and experimenting with these Black lifestyles, things, did you surprise yourself with your discoveries?
Did I? You know, we base, the whole technique and all the forms are based on what we call the 5 cycles of evolution. And everybody that comes into National Black Theater has to go through what we call a decrutting process, you see. And they start with the nigger cycle, and they go from nigger to Negro to militant to nationalist to revolutionary. Revolutionary, we say, is a cycle that includes the instrument that you have becomes an instrument of righteousness, where you are striving toward inner peace and inner beauty. We analyze all of these cycles from a negative and positive point of view. And we go into the bars and we go into the churches and really sit and talk to the people. And then we come back and we put all our things together. And that's how the technique evolved, so that we can play any character, you know. Because the American tradition, you have ingenues, leading men, and the villain and all that. And it has nothing to do with us. We don't have any ingenues, you know what I mean? We really don't.
Whenever Black people get together, it is indeed a sacred and holy event, because Black people are beautiful people. Sons and daughters of beautiful people. Grandsons and granddaughters of kings and queens. Our ancestors were feeling people, human people, caring people, possessing weird and mysterious powers. They were makers and builders of creators of nations and empires. That's who our ancestors were. And we, their offspring, find ourselves right now, this minute, a long, long way from all that beauty, all that harmony, all that peace, all that love. We find ourselves a long, long way from home. Think about it. Just think about it.
Devil said she ain't even seen that nigga, man.
Beautiful. Hey, so, you know Tucson?
What's that? Sure. The revolutionary who's gonna rid Harlem of junkies and drugs.
Yeah, that's right. drugs and all them other things that cause parasites like you to exist.
You got about as much chance as a nigga in a wood.
Yeah, well, you notice something?
What?
To me, it's no joke.
Man, where'd you find this
Man,
nigga?
look, man, do you want to talk to me or not, man?
Yeah, man. I wonder how you got so involved in this simple in the first place, man. You got a keen mind, man. Baby, you could be making some big money. Hey, why don't we hook up again together, baby? You was always one of my favorite
Hey, look,
niggas
no
anyway.
bet, Walt. I got my mind clean in prison. It ain't about making money. It's about helping you raise and unify your people. Now, brother, all them things that keep us divided, they got to go.
Hey, man, I don't know about all that stuff. But I know one thing very plainly. Niggas need drugs. The average nigga couldn't make it through a single night without some kind of drugs.
Wow.
You don't believe me, huh? Well, just look at him. Look at him. Just look at him, man.
Long way from home, black people. But tonight, we're gonna see if we can find our way back home. That is to our real home, our spiritual home. Because after all, we are spiritual people, right? So we're gonna take a new journey, because we've been on the wrong road. We're gonna climb aboard a love train and form a love chain. So we're gonna ask you to reach out and hold on to your brother and sister's hand wherever you are. Just reach out and hold on to a hand and form a love chain. See if we can find our way back home. Because we're going to take a journey. Yeah, we're going to take a journey. Across the waters. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to travel. Yeah. We are an African people. Whoa, 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 whoa. We are an African people. Warriors and lovers. We are an African people. Warriors and lovers. One family, we got to be one. We got to be one. Africa is blackness. Blackness is supreme. Africa is blackness. Yeah. Blackness is supreme. Africa is blackness. Blackness is supreme. Africa is blackness.
Òrìṣà gbẹ̀yìn o, òrìṣà gbẹ̀yìn o, òrìṣà bá ń ṣe o, ìbánisẹ́ bá ń ṣe o, ìlú àyàn ọgbà o. Ọlọ́mọ mùkúmù kẹ̀kẹ́. Ọlọ́mọ mùkúmù kẹ̀kẹ́. Ẹ̀kọ́rọ̀ yẹyẹ o, ṣé bí wọ́n lò ní. Yẹyẹ Ọ̀ṣun, yẹyẹ Ọ̀ṣun, yẹyẹ Ọ̀ṣun.
The National Black Theater blends the heritage of African traditions and folklore with the street corner truths of everyday black life. OSHUN, the African deity of harmony and love, introduces new hope and direction for the struggling black community.
Make your love still. I said they're watching you.
What are you doing, Miss Sylvia?
Preparing the way for OSHUN.
OSHUN?
Mm-hmm.
What?
She's the powerful African deity of harmony and love.
Yeah.
It's a special day, you know. She gonna come over here to help to sign the Kabaka's revival for tonight. When she comes, she gonna move this negative community back towards love.
Yeah, well, that's what we need is some love.
That's right.
Hey, I want to help. I want to help.
Take your wine, then. Come on. Take your wine. Pour 3 drops on the ground to give praises to her. And when she comes, you will feel her presence and you will feel her love.
Yeah.
Come on now. Inside the circle.
Right. All right.
Oshun. Give him the power. Show him the way. I babo.
Hey, Miss Sylvia, you got a minute to run down this dream that keeps bothering me.
Dreams are for people who sleeping, Jason. You've been sleeping long enough now.
Yeah, but see, I keep dreaming the same dream over and over again. I keep dreaming of the desert. It is hot, it is dry, and the void is sight. I mean, you need to be adjusted in your dream.
You should heed the words of your gods, Jason. They're watching you.
Here, see, I'm for real, Miss Sylvia. What about my dream? Hey, can you ask Miss OSHUN?
Yes, isn't that always in what you're dreaming? In those things that you're scheming.
I ain't scheming on nobody.
Don't tell me. You better get yourself together, Jason.
Thank
Enough
you.
time is here.
I'm
It's time for you to clean yourself right up.
I'm getting myself together.
Order? It
I
is
get
time.
it together.
OSHUN must come down now.
Hey, you doing? Hey, you doing? Hey, down.
African people, grounded in America. 400 years. 400 years in change. 400 years in change. Yeah. 400 years in exile from your God. 400 years in pain. Oh, spirit-based people. You who are lost from your source. We have come over to help you.
After the apparition of OSHUN, Jason understands the meaning of his dream. He no longer feels like a desert. The symbolic presence of love has revived him, and he feels like an oasis.
Oh, OSHUN, you feeling? Yeah. She speak to you? What she tell you, eh? Come on, what she tell you? Come on.
I know in my dream these days, Miss Sylvia. I saw an oasis. I ain't a desert no more. I'm an oasis.
Coming to revival tonight?
Yeah, I'm coming to revival tonight. I'm going to do all I can do to help, too. Yeah, I'm sure coming to revival tonight.
I'll look for you later.
The revival is an experimentation of 2.5 years of very hard work in the National Black Theater, trying to evolve a new art form. And our overall goal was to establish an alternative to the Western thrust of theater. The form that black theater is using, most of the forms that black theaters are using have to do with negatives and reflecting negatives. And we wanted to, in some way, change the total thrust so that we would be viewing blackness from a positive point of view.
May the world know us because who we are is who you are. May we travel all over the world.
Come on now, listen to it. Pumping, pumping, pumping. New life in. Breathe in new life. Every time you get higher, breathe in new life. Yeah, listen. We got it. Yeah, we float. Ha, ha. Yeah, we got it. Now can you say very softly to yourself, the power is in me. 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 The power. Close your eyes and feel the power is in me. The power is in. Can you feel it? Where is it? In me. The power. Now open your eyes. We're gonna regain our strength and reclaim our power right now. This power. We're gonna regain our strength and reclaim our power right now. This power. Yeah, we're gonna regain our strength and reclaim. Coming on down now. We're coming on down. Coming on down. We landed. We're gonna listen to your heart. Listen to your heartbeat. Woo! Coming on down. Coming on down. Coming on down. Woo, we gotta come on down now. Coming on down. The essence of you, the beauty of you is coming on down. Now, the real you. Our ancestors are talking to us. They're talking to us. They're trying to communicate with us. They're telling us, if we seek first the kingdom of Africa, all good things shall be added. Can you dig it? We're coming on down now. Ile. We're coming on down. There's an African feeling coming over you now. A soulful feeling coming over you now. Soulful feeling coming over you now.
The Africans in this country, I don't call them black Americans, I call them Africans. They have to know that they're Africans. And they have to know that even though slavery destroyed the basis of most of African culture, yet there is still enough in them upon which they can build the foundations of what I think you mean by a new culture, that is building or rebuilding, as it were, what has been our heritage from our common ancestors.
From my point of view, I feel that Africa is being represented solidly in the New World, and this has come about by the slave trade. We can then filter the best in Africa and the best in the European culture and be able to forge out a new vanguard of thought and practice, of culture and philosophy, of science and technology for the African people. Indeed, the Africans in the Americas have a great leadership role to play in every aspect of human life. And I think this is where the Africans in the Americas should direct their minds.
I bring you great tidings from the spiritual leader of all the Yorubas, who is Oba Alaelua Okwade Shijuade Olubushe II, the Oni of Ife. He has heard a lot about you, and he has heard what great men and women of African descent have been doing to foster unity and cooperation amongst you and to develop the image of the colored peoples all over the world by a grand return to their roots. In recognition of the good things that two distinguished son and daughter of Harlem have been doing, he has asked to bestow on them the pinnacle of honor as typified in the wearing of beads which the traditional rulers themselves wear. And so I had great pleasure in presenting to our great African daughter, Barbara TEER, you will kneel for me.
Come on now, listen to it. Pumping, pumping, pumping. New life in. Breathe in new life. Every time you get higher. Breathe in new life. Yeah, listen. We got it. Yeah, we float. Ha, ha. Yeah, we got it. Now can you say very softly to yourself, the power is in me. 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 The power.
When African people who were born in America get clear that their cultural, the source of who they are is African, in that our perception of life, thinking and being comes from a African perception, actually. When that happens, there will be an automatic change. You know, source is mother. When you know who your mother is and you love and you respect your mother, things flow differently. Our art form flows from a spirit culture because we're a spiritual people. And that spiritual culture produces a particular sound, which we call a cultural sound, which you hear in all music of black people and which spontaneously inspires people. So our performing technique is one that we call pyramid process of performing, and it produces mastery in the area of this cultural sound, which is the embodiment of all the productions that we do. So if you can imagine a million Arethas and James Browns and Otis Reddings and Preacher Rhythms of Cleveland and Martin Luther King and Malcolm X all in one big company, and the sound that will come from this corner and the look and the feeling and the style that comes with that form, you will then understand what that will do to this particular community.
You understand? Then maybe, just maybe, we'll change the way we act. And if we change the way we act, then they gonna definitely change the way they act. Definitely change the way they act. So if you be for real, then I'll be for real. 'Cause being for real